guys, Christian here for Carclear TV, bringing you another update of the 2009 World Series of Poker. Event number 4, the $1,000 buy-in stimulus special event, is playing out its final table today. Of the 6,012 that started, there are 9 players left fighting for that first place prize of $771,000. The chip leader going in is Dan Heimler. He's a previous WSOP bracelet winner and's got $2.8 million in tournament winnings. Second in chips is Steve Sung. He's got more than $2 million in tournament winnings, and this is his 5th World Series of Poker final table. Event number 5 is the $1,500 buy-in Pot-Limit Omaha tournament. The 9 players remaining are fighting for a first place prize of $237,000. First in chips going into the final table is Kevin Iacofano, closely followed by Jonathan Tare. Also competing at that final table is Jason Mercier. He's coming in 4th in chips, and we got to speak with him just before the final table began. Alright Jason, you made the final table of the 1500 PLO event. Tell me how the event's gone for you, and your path to the final table. How'd it go?
Well, to start day 1, I planned on playing like pretty fast because I was still in the 1K.
Oh, so you're multi-table, you're just going back and forth?
Exactly. Well, I mean, I had 2 hours to play the PLO before the 1K restarted, so I figured I'd either like get a decent amount of chips or bust, and then like if I had enough chips, I could go, play my short stack in the 1K and then, come back on a break or if I bust or whatever. So I was able to get like 12,000 chips from 4,500 after 2 hours. I went over to play the 1K and I bubbled after like 30 or 40 minutes. So then I went back and got my stack up to like 18,000. My table broke, and then I won like I tripled up or like almost quadrupled up on a pretty big hand where I got it in with like 41% equity against 2 other guys, so I was like in good shape and I hit my hand.
What kind of draw did you have? Like a wrap with a flush draw?
I had a nut flush draw and gutter ball to the nuts and backdoor other flush draw. So I was able to hit, I needed a 10 or a club, and I hit the 10 of clubs.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I knew that things were going good at that point, and then I was able to just like accumulate a massive stack towards the end of day 1, and I finished with like 60,000 more than anybody else. And then right off the bat, starting day 2, I knocked a guy out and had like almost 2-1 on anyone else in the tournament.
Wow.
And then I hit a couple like speed bumps during day 2. Gave a lot of my chips to Steve, Pie Cap Raider, and then was able to just kind of slow down and pick my spots well and win a few key pots to make it to the final table.
Now one question. Now I'm not as familiar with PLO as I am with No Limit Hold'em, and so I'm learning. So in cash games, when you're playing PLO, you always want to get it in when you have a lot of equity, and more so that like with the pot odds. But in tournaments, does it ever differ because you're concerned about your tournament life? If you see a big pot with, let's say, like the 2 guys who have you covered, when you still have decent in chips, do you still want to be getting in there when you do have those draws like that?
Sometimes. I mean, I don't really want to like teach people how to play PLO, but I mean, yeah, it definitely differs in a tournament. To a cash game, you have to like factor in other things, and a cash game, you always want to be making the correct like equity decision.
Okay, is this kind of like a common thing among pros, since PLO is a growing game, and it seems like people who are moving from No Limit to PLO are still kind of playing the game poorly? Is that why you guys are a little bit more reserved?
Somewhat. I mean, I'm just like, I'm tired of the games getting tougher, so
I understand
I just
that.
like don't want to tell anyone how to play.
Okay. Were there any pivotal hands close to the final table that could have gone either way, that you might have been bubbling the final table, or really got you to be you're in the middle of the field there?
There was a couple hands. One hand I doubled up and I was kind of behind. I got it in with top pair and a backdoor flush draw, and like I had 11 outs plus a backdoor flush draw against aces, and I hit 2 pair, and that was for my like I would have only had like 1 blind if I had lost that hand, and that was with 12 people left, I think. So that was a pretty key hand. And then I lost a big hand against Dario where I got it in with a queen high flush draw and a wrap against his king high flush draw and an overpair. So I was like drawing fairly slim, and if I had won that hand, then I would have had the chip lead. But those two hands kind of like, you know, put me where I'm at now.
You mentioned Dario and also Steven Burkholder. Now, who else is at the final table that is pretty talented? I think Matt Gianetti's there.
Yeah, Matt Gianetti's definitely, I'd say, the best player by far. Like maybe besides me, but he's probably a little better than me, to be honest. At PLO, he plays like, you know, high stakes cash PLO, and played a decent amount against him at Commerce. He's probably, yeah, definitely the best player. So he's got a little shorter stack than me, but yeah, don't be surprised if one of us wins it.
All right. Well, I hope to see you back for another interview after you win this bracelet. Now you were multi-tabling, trying to play a couple events at the same time. Do you have some bracelet bets, or what's going on?
Yeah, I have a few bets, like not necessarily on bracelet, but like POI points and like most money won and stuff like that.
Okay, so that's why you're getting in there as much as possible.
Yeah, trying to play as many tournaments, like 30 events or 35, something like that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for stopping by.
No problem.
Event number 6, the $10,000 buy-in World Championship 7-card stud event is down to 11 players. It's supposed to play down to a final 9, but they suspended play at 3 a.m. Your chip leader is Eric Drake. Second in chips is Hassan Habib. And also still competing in the event are Jeffrey Lissandro, Max Pescatori, Greg Mueller, Daniel Negreanu, and the short stack, Tim Fan. The winner of that event is going to receive $334,000. And event number 7, the $1,500 buy-in No Limit Hold'em event that started yesterday is now in day 2. Around 330 players out of the nearly 3,000 that started are returning today for day 3. Among those still competing in the event are Jonathan Little, Brandon Cantu, Alex Jacob, and Sean Deeb. First place is taking home $667,000. And event number 8, the $2,500 buy-in No Limit Deuce to 7 Draw Lowball event attracted 147 players yesterday and played down to 35 with Lane Flack as your chip leader. They're returning for day 2 today, and among those still competing are Phil Ivey, Barry Greenstein, John Juanda, and Eric Lindgren. The winner of that event will take home $96,000. And the only 2 events starting today are event number 9, the $1,500 buy-in No Limit Hold'em 6-handed event, and event number 10, the $2,500 buy-in half Pot-Limit Omaha, half Pot-Limit Hold'em tournament. Thanks for tuning in to this update on the 2009 World Series of Poker. I'm Christianette for Card Player TV.